Whoopi Goldberg has a theory as to why certain Republicans voted for this radical act that, beyond whatever you think about marriage, that's almost secondary to what this act does. The act prohibiting the practice of Christianity and Judaism and Islam and reasonableness in an important way in the public square. Here's Whoopi's theory as to why some Republicans went along with it.
Anytime somebody decides that they want to get married, celebrate them. Yeah. Celebrate them. Yeah. Don't tell them that it's like Jim Crow laws, voting for that, because you're giving the finger to lots of married couples. And I suspect many of these folks voted the way they did because somebody they know said, if you don't vote this way, I'll never speak to you again. Perhaps a lover, maybe a friend.
Wait, what? Did you catch that at the end? She goes, yeah, it's because these Republicans, people in their lives told them that if you vote this way, I'll never speak to you again. And maybe that person's a lover. Tee-hee-hee. Maybe these Republicans, maybe they have gay lovers, secret gay lovers. And their gay lovers were going to be really upset with them if they didn't vote for this. Tee-hee-hee. Tee-hee-hee-hee-hee. So I don't particularly care for Mitt Romney. He drives me up a wall. I don't think the guy's got a gay lover. I don't think that's why he voted for this stupid bill. Okay, the same with the other people who voted for it. But this is always where the libs go. They say if you oppose their agenda, if you think that drag queens shouldn't go read stories to kindergartners, say, well, why? Is it because you're secretly gay? Huh? Which is kind of funny because on the one hand, the libs are saying there's absolutely nothing wrong with being gay. It's actually the most wonderful thing in the world. Everybody should be gay. And then on the other hand, they're saying, yeah, what are you? Are you a gay? Like it's an insult. If you ever disagree with this, we're going to call you gay, which is really wonderful. And it's the most wonderful thing in the world. Except when you do it, you gay guy, you dumb gay person. You're like they're, in fourth grade on the playground. So there's a little bit of a contradiction. You might even call it homophobic if you ask me. But let's just go with Whoopi for a second. Let's say that this is why certain Republicans voted for it, because they all have secret gay lovers. That part is probably not true. But everyone does have something. Everybody's got a past, everybody's got skeletons, everybody's done plenty of bad things that they're ashamed of. And a lot of it is sexual because man is such a sexual being, but some of it's not sexual. Maybe it's a financial fraud. Maybe it's some other kind of political scandal. Maybe it's a family matter. Maybe it's whatever. It is a good reminder that you should live a clean life, or you should endeavor to live the cleanest life you can, because it's good for your soul and it will be conducive to your salvation in a virtuous society. But also because your enemies want you to live dirty, and they want you to live dirty because it can entrap you, because they can blackmail you, because they'll have dirt on you. Okay, this is one of the oldest tricks in the book, in the darker corners of politics, espionage, political blackmail, all of it. You have these kind of honeypot operations where you try to get a guy to cheat on his wife, or you try to get a guy to take a bribe, or you try to get a guy to just do something dirty, and you do it because that will give you an upper hand on them. And we're living in a world right now that is defined by data. Increasingly, companies and governments are just getting every ounce of data that you possess. They're prying it out of you without you even knowing it. They're monitoring your eye movements on your phone to see what you're looking at when you're scrolling up and down social media apps. I think this is in large part why the powerful institutions in our culture are pushing pornography on people. I think it's because it compromises people. I think it's because it gives everyone such a sense of shame and fear and blackmail that they just acquiesce. It gives the people who are in power even more power. It's no different than J. Edgar Hoover running the FBI, getting dirt and compromise on people. It's no different than the KGB getting compromise on people. And so you've got to be aware of that just in your personal life. This is how they think. They think, yeah, well, we're going to tell people about your gay lover. Yeah, we're going to tell people about all your dirty habits. Yeah, if you don't go along with us. It is what it has always been, a method of gaining more control. Whenever you are connected to an unencrypted internet network on your phone, computer, tablet, or TV, you are sending countless pieces of information out into the digital world that can be seen and intercepted by pretty much anyone. A VPN, or virtual private network, creates a secure tunnel between your device and the internet. It's like putting your postcard in an envelope so that no one can read your letter before it gets to the person that you're sending it to. ExpressVPN is the VPN I trust to keep my data secure. ExpressVPN creates a secure encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet so the hackers can't steal your data, your passwords, your financial details. Just fire up the app, click one button, it's super duper easy, you are instantly protected. Plus, ExpressVPN works on all your devices so you can stay secure on the go. Secure your online activity today at expressvpn.com/Michael Knowles Show. Get 3 extra months free. That is expressvpn.com/Michael Knowles Show. expressvpn.com/Michael Knowles Show. Speaking of disordered sexuality, Sam Brinton, the lipstick, stiletto-wearing, doggy leather, leading men around on a leash guy from the Department of Energy, he's been arrested, and he's got a mugshot out there, and he looks a lot more normal in the mugshot than he ever did in his office at the Department of Energy. I've got an unpopular opinion. This is unpopular, so I'm giving you fair warning. I feel sorry for Sam Brinton. I actually feel sorry for the guy. Yes, he's left of Lenin. Yes, he seems to be a huge liar. Yes, he seems to have made up a lot of his biography. The center of his political biography is that he was subjected to conversion therapy as a child. You know, that thing that doesn't exist. It was conversion therapy, and his awful parents tried to make him not be gay or transgender or into the leather puppy costumes or whatever he's into. And that's what set him on his political journey. But that story started to fall apart because he wouldn't mention who this evil doctor who tortured him was. He then got really fuzzy on the details. Then he said it actually happened in his 20s, not when he was a child or a teenager. And even LGBTQ Nation, obviously a left-wing publication, has admitted, okay, this guy's story really doesn't check out. But I really feel sorry for Sam Brinton because he's obviously deeply mentally ill. He's obviously got all sorts of problems and disordered desires. And that's true of a lot of people. It's no excuse necessarily for just totally bad, depraved behavior, except for this. In the past, when people had mental illnesses and disorders and delusions and weird desires and stuff, the culture, the society, would try to help that person, would try to treat some of those illnesses, would try to dispel some of those delusions, would try to give these people therapy, proper therapy, that would say, no, you're not really a woman, you're a man. No, you shouldn't drag men around on leashes in weird leather costumes. No, you don't wear lipstick. Boys don't wear lipstick. That's wrong. Unless you're David Bowie, take the lipstick off. No, men don't wear the stiletto heels. No, men, you're a man, and what that means is certain things, and you're supposed to dress this way and do this kind of thing, and that's going to give you a better life. And in our culture, what happened was exactly the opposite. In our culture, every single delusion and disordered desire that Sam Brinton has ever had has been affirmed and celebrated by the culture. We know who he is because he engages in all these kinds of crazy antics and puts them all over social media and gives lectures about all of his bizarre, disordered sexual desires and how much he loves indulging them. And he gets celebrated by the establishment media for it. And he's put up as an icon of civil rights and inclusivity. I promise you, had this guy not just gotten arrested for stealing women's clothing and luggage, he would have been at that White House ceremony. Joe Biden probably would have mentioned him by name because the administration has put him forward as a symbol of transgender. And so I feel bad for the guy because he's been abused by society. It has been criminal neglect and negligence that our society has engaged in with regard to this guy and with regard to so many other people. When the crazy purple-haired people show up at my lectures and scream at me about how I'm not respecting trans, pans, dual spirit rights or whatever, I have a great deal of pity for them because very often these are young people and they have been indulged since the time they were 5 years old. And they've been groomed, frankly, by their educators in many cases. And so it's not their fault. Exactly, it's not their fault. They were raised in this way, where in the old way, you'd be raised to tamp down your base passions and cultivate your higher reason and your rational will. Today, it's exactly the opposite. We're told don't trust your higher reason. We're told that your moral conscience is a liar. We're told that the institutions that once formed good, normal, flourishing people, they're all evil. Forget them. All you should do is indulge your appetites. We should be fat positive. You should never stop eating. You should indulge gluttony. You should be sex positive. You should cultivate your lusts. The weirder your lusts, the better, and indulge them all the time. We're told that you should give vent to all of your passions, your wrath, your anger. If you're feeling some kind of passion, don't just suppress it. Don't cultivate patience, not a spirit of resignation. No, you got to let it out. And you've especially got to hate your parents, and you've got to hate the culture that you were raised in, because it's evil and terrible. And ultimately, you should hate yourself, and you should not ever even consider God as existing, much less seek a relationship with him. That's all hooey for a bunch of knuckle-dragging cavemen. No, not you. You're sophisticated. You just need to worship at the altar of what? The altar of our decadent culture. People have been taught this since they're 5 years old. Is it any wonder they turn out like Sam Brinton? We got a nation of Sam Brintons. That guy's not unusual these days. I mean, it's unusual. We all look at him as unusual. There was a survey that said that more than 1 in 5 Zoomers identify as LGBTQ, identify as queer. Sam Brinton is increasingly becoming the norm. And that's when something becomes the norm, that's not merely the fault of individuals, that's the fault of the culture and of the society. The rest of the show continues now. You do not want to miss it. If you're not a member, click the link in the description and join us.